Hello, in the world of crypto. This is our crypto news segment that we try to bring every week now. We're going to do this in 2, maybe even 3 parts because I think there's a lot we need to discuss. We need to prepare ourselves for legislation and laws, not just coming from the SEC and from the Biden administration, but coming on a global aspect from our world leaders. This October, there's going to be more laws passed on a global aspect. It's going to apply to not just the United States, but the whole world. I think we need to be made aware of that and how we can get through it and which coins are going to be the best coins that now are looking like might survive this scrutiny. Don't go away, stay with us. And DeFi, IoT, Latin America, we're here to bring you the truth. Let's talk about it. I want to talk a little bit today about Evergrande, what took place last week, right? This whole idea that this real estate company, this mega giant real estate company in China, the CCP, Communist Party China, is defaulting on $300 billion in loans. That's a bunch of hoopcocky. We need to understand a little bit. I listen to my sources. And I understand what they're saying, but everybody's acting like these companies have nothing to do. They're completely independent of the Communist Party in China. Well, I spent 20 years of my life studying anthropology and cultures and traveling many parts of the world. My focus was principally Latin America, yes. But I did study in China, I did study in Cuba, and I had opportunity to study in the Middle East. And you know, it's funny is that all indicators, we know that China, no large companies can exist in China without a member of the CCP as an owner. So this whole facade is being painted that this is going to collapse the world economy, which it can, and because American companies have invested in China, which we should have never done in the first place, that all comes back to other administrations. We want to talk about it, but that's another video. And I'm angry today. I'm really angry because it's all being smoothed over like, well, China government's not going to bail them out. Of course they're not going to bail them out because they just stole $300 billion of all financial institutions in the world, including the world banks. The banks in China, some might go under. That's the way it goes. But that's all planned. Don't think it's not. China does not want us, especially those of us that are in the crypto world. They just outlawed it. They're showing by what they're making illegal in China. What they're attacking is crypto mining and cryptocurrencies, where you and I have the opportunity to rise up and invest in new innovation. They want to kill innovation, and not just them. The Davos Group, the whole World Economic Forum, along with the United Nations and the World Bank, they don't want this to take place. And it's awful funny that all this collapses down now, right after the fact, on September 7th, El Salvador announces Bitcoin, or makes Bitcoin, the currency of the country, along with the dollar, because there's no transition yet, and they're really kind of obligated to do that, but really there was no transition out of that at this point. You got to step out of it, which is fine, I understand that. But there is great fear in these countries the dollar is going to collapse. And if we look at everything, we look at history of currencies, the dollar is at a point where it should collapse. And if you didn't have the Federal Reserve buying stocks, which really it should be concerning, right? It should be really concerning of this whole aspect of creating money as they're doing it, and this whole quantum experiment, right? And this idea of actually buying stocks. Well, stocks means ownership. So we have the Federal Reserve, which we know is a quasi-government entity, and we have BlackRock coming and buying real estate, which is a right arm of the Federal Reserve. If you do your homework, remember, don't believe everything I'm telling you. I'm going to tell you the truth. I want you to figure it out for yourself too. Go and confirm it for yourself too. Please, please do. And you'll see that what we're telling you is the truth. Our purpose here at DeFi IoT Latin America is to bring the truth in the world of blockchain and crypto, and everything that affects blockchain and crypto. So in this, we do a little homework. Now, let's understand something. This company, if it goes under, that's because the Chinese government are letting it go in. They want to go in. They steal $300 billion from the world. What a great scam. And unfortunately, because you have U.S. companies and your own companies, mostly financial institutions, that are holding this. And Tether, by the way, too, there's rumor it could be involved in this. So we got to be careful there. What's that going to do to Tether and USDT? Wait to see. Let's hope that that's just rumor that's out there, right? on the crypto aspect of it. But what are they holding? You know, this company, the Evergrande, right? I keep forgetting that name, Evergrande. How can I forget that name? Evergrande. Yeah, it's Evergrande, all right. It's going to be Evergrande Valley that they're going to create now in the world of normal financial institutions and allow regulation to come into crypto world. Because you see, it just happened to be that the SEC, the Biden administration, and this whole group backed by the United Nations, the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, etc., this whole group of the, what do we call it here, in the Financial Action Task Force, the FATF, Financial Action Task Force, which apparently, you know, none of these people are elected, by the way. They're all just like, they point themselves, they group themselves up. Look at Davos Group, you know, the whole economic forum, the World Economic Forum. These are a bunch of business people that just got together, and now they became this world power of governments. And they inject what the new agenda is going to be. The 2030 agenda, the 2050 agenda, all this is 2050 agenda. 2030 is just one more milestone in that agenda, right? So we have to understand that. So what's going to happen now? We get the SEC coming down and collapsing and saying, come talk to us. But what's the SEC want to do? They want to put everything in a box. So that means that any new ICOs, right, initial coin offerings, like an IPO, initial public offerings, we won't be able to participate in it anymore. All these certified individuals, these credited investors will be able to participate, and we get what's left. It's like planting a crop, which we did, and they're going to come in and harvest the crop, and whatever's left, you know, for the birds, we get to pick up. And that's the truth of the matter. I'm not being exaggerated here. And maybe you might not agree with me, and that's fine. You have your agency to do that. But I'm telling you the truth. And you better wake up and realize this, because it's going to slap you in the face real soon. Unfortunately, sooner than we're ready for. Because in October, this FATF is going to come together, and they're going to implement rules on the whole world that they want to apply. They have 40 countries which are involved with them right now, US being one of them, and they're going to apply these rules, Europe too, to all the countries. And they're going to try to obligate that to all the world. Now, you understand also that there is a movement within different groups, but in this whole, like the Davos group and in other groups that worry about economic equality, to now make it so that states in the US, for example, in all countries that are tax havens, right, that don't charge corporate tax, etc., will have to charge a basic corporate tax. There won't be any more tax havens. So this is all part of the plan. Why do they want to do this? Because they control the financial institution. If they can create pandemics, or they can create economic crisis like they did in 2008. If you do your homework, you'll realize that 2008 should have never taken place. 2008 was created to put a person in office in the United States of America. It was created to bring in this whole agenda. And that's where the agenda really advanced. Do your homework. Now, how's that going to affect us in crypto? It's going to. There's a lot of platforms now that everything's going to be KYC. You're going to have to like offer up all your information as if you open a bank account. They'll be able to track and trace everything. Unfortunately, in the United States, you know, the ambition in the United States for Biden is to get to that 40% mark in taxation. Then you guys pay your state taxes. You could be paying or 50% to 60% taxes. That's the kind of stuff that you pay in high socialist countries. The government has no right to take our property from us. And that's what decentralization is about. That's what cryptocurrency is about. That's what Bitcoin was created. Now, here are some safety tips. There's some good news in all this, too. We need to stand up and we need to elect officials that are going to defend these rights. I love the fact that Texas legalized. And you need to put some parameters around this. Maybe so. I'm a free market man. But if some people feel better putting some parameters around this, they say, okay, we need to be able to go back to a judicial system if somebody scams me. Because there's a lot of scammers out there too. And unfortunately, a lot of scammers are coming from the CCP and Russia. They're coming from these other countries that don't want that. So they want to scam it and take advantage of it. So you don't have ethics out there with these countries. And you won't ever have it with these kind of countries. So I guess you got to put some rules in, but who's going to favor in the rules too? Are them. So we put some safety rules in. All right. But where does that draw the line? At what point do they say, okay, we're going to obey this? Like our U.S. Constitution? And we have those safety rules. Heck, come on, let's be honest. I live abroad. I tried to get my children born to a U.S. citizen that had U.S. parents as born parents. And I had a tough time getting my children their citizenship. Why? Well, I had to prove that I actually was American. I had my birth certificate. I had my passport. I had everything I needed to show as American. Then I had to prove I actually lived in America. Well, what does that matter for? My children have a right. And I said to them, I argue with the embassy. I said to them, my children have a right. And they said, no, sir, they do not have that right. They have to go through our requirements. And we will then make sure that they either qualify or don't qualify for their U.S. citizenship. So in other words, the U.S. Constitution, that's very clear on what determines whether my children get their citizenship or not, which, by the way, protected Barack Obama in his citizenship, right now does not apply to those of us who, or the Constitution doesn't apply. It's being filtered now by a bunch of laws before the Constitution. So that means that constitutional right doesn't exist. It's all conditional on whether they think they should extend that right or not. So don't be fooled that you think you still have a Constitution that's functioning. Because in the United States of America, we don't. And I'm saddened by that. I'm not going to abandon my country. I'm not going to abandon cryptocurrency. I'm going to stay in and fight for freedom. And that's why I'm doing this program, this show. That's why I seek for truth. Now you can say, well, I don't agree with you. That's fine. Don't agree with me. I don't care. But it's going to slap you too. Whether you're blue or whether you're red, it's going to come back on you too. Because it's not about whether you are a favored person or a favored candidate or a favored party or not. It's about control over the people. In living outside the country for 20 years of my life, I've been able to see a lot of what's taking place. And right now, what's going to come down in the crypto world, it concerns me. But let's go this way. Here at this channel, we're going to work the ways that we can figure out legally to help people keep their investments and pay minimal taxes legally that they have to pay. And we're going to help you do that. Now, I might be up against governments and so forth that want to come down on me. Bring it on. I don't care. I'm going to do what I have to do to stand up and defend. I'm not a coward. I'm not going to go run to hide. I'm not going to some BLM comes and gets in my face. I'm going to get back in their face too because it's my right to defend what I believe in. So let's do this. Let's talk about what we got for hope out there. Here we got for hope. What are our safety currencies? Well, anything that has a smart contract based on an algorithm of smart contracts, right? That ETH, Cardano, Algorand, Solana, Polkadot, etc. Those are pretty much going to be areas where you're going to find your safe havens. Okay. Others are going to be that you can look at Grayscale, for example. Look at Grayscale trusts. You can see already where those are already kind of fitting into the regulation aspect. And on Grayscale trust, I think it's going to be a good measurement where you can see where you can invest and you'll be able to not lose investment, right? Some of these coins are going to become outlawed under this whole FATF laws that come up. They're not going to outlaw them. They can't outlaw them. They're going to call them high risk. And then make them such high risk that countries will say, well, you can't get involved in that. And that certain platforms and certain regulations will be made that you cannot host those kind of high risk coins on your platform, such as Coinbase, for example. You know, look at Coinbase what happened. Coinbase wanted to collaborate. They went in and said, okay, we're going to work with you. We're going to talk, right? Like the SEC said to come in and do. And what happened to them? They turned on them. And that's what's going to happen to everybody right now. The government doesn't care about us. And I may get slapped in the face by YouTube for putting this out there. But they don't really care about us. They care about themselves and their agenda. So we need to protect ourselves in decentralization. Now, what else can we look at that might, on Grayscale, for example? Well, to get an idea, like I said, you got Polygon, REN, REN, XRP, Litecoin. What really surprised me was Monero. That surprised me, actually, Monero. Look, we're going to work what we can do. We're going to work here to stay on top of this, see what the new laws are, see how they get implemented. Not every country will go along with these new rules, right? The United States of America, basically, you're kind of SOL on that aspect because you're there. And if you're outside the country, though, which many people are leaving the country to get outside of, or in trust outside the country, there are ways around this. There are legal ways around it. Though during the Obama administration, they've tried to close those doors. I know that my attorney, when we had certain trusts that were offshore, my attorney basically lost his job because in the Obama administration, they closed those doors, which were completely legitimate trusts that helped third world countries, right? Now, will there be ways to work through all this legally? Yes. And am I saying avoid taxes or am I saying to do things illegal? No, absolutely not. Pay your taxes, but let's pay a just tax. So let's stand up and elect people. Let's help the Ted Cruz's of the world. And let's help those that are out there fighting for cryptocurrencies, those senators and those congressmen that are actually fighting for cryptocurrency to exist because the dollar is in risk. The dollar's been over-abused. The dollar has no value to it anymore, and many people are losing respect for the dollar. Cryptocurrency is a currency, is a way that we can actually invest and be in the part of the game. You and I, normal people, let's not lose that opportunity. So we need to go out to the election polls, and we need to go out in numbers, because who knows how yeah, I can't say it, the C word, how C they are, right? Well, we have an opportunity here to defend decentralization. And at this station, DeFi, IoT Latin America, we do that. So please, stay with us. Don't leave. If you want to hear more, what's going on, what's going to come down the pipe here going into October, new laws, new rules. I'll be traveling a little bit, but I'll be definitely shooting videos back in and getting them out to you. My team will be getting videos out to you as well. If you want to hit that like button, hit the subscribe, please, and the bell below so we can keep you informed. I'm angry, I'm frustrated, but I'm also real. And I understand, I explore both sides of everything. I seek to find the truth. We seek to find the truth for you. We're here to help you and us through our experiences. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor, nor is this financial advice. We're just sharing with you what we're learning and what we're experiencing. This is all for your entertainment. You can do with it what you want to do with it. We're not suggesting either way, but we are going to tell you what we're finding, and you can do what you want with that. Don't leave us. Stay with us. We're going to help you through all this. Subscribe to us, please. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, and we see it. I want to help you see it too, so don't go away.